Our Media Day coverage continues. Last year, there wasn't a whole lot to show on this little graphic here of significant non-conference games for Northwestern. Man, it's good this year. I mean, a game against Butler, go to Brooklyn, not just Texas, but Notre Dame is in that tournament as well. Game at the United Center, part of a doubleheader with Illinois. Dayton taking on the Wildcats. So Chris Collins, the coach of the Cats, is with us. And Chris, there's obviously been a change here in kind of the mentality of where you feel like your program is now and what you can schedule. What do you think about when you see those matchups?
Yeah, I mean, it's looking at those opponents, and it doesn't make you feel too good as a coach, but they're going to be great games for us early, and that's what we need. You know, we have a lot of veteran guys who are back. Last year we were still a younger team that was finding our way, and we felt like we needed to win in the non-conference to set ourselves up for the Big Ten. This year we've added some games, against some teams that are NCAA caliber, top 25 level type teams that we need to judge ourselves by, see where we're at, but also you got to find a way to win some of those if you want to have a resume that's worthy of being around at the end of the year. Yeah,
it's interesting. You were talking with the whole group of the media earlier, and you were saying you referred to yourselves as a chalk team, that basically everyone that you were supposed to beat, with, I think you said, one exception you beat, and everyone you weren't supposed to beat, with one exception you didn't beat.
Yeah.
So how do you go from being a team that beats the teams that it is supposed to being one that wins some games that maybe are unexpected and gets into the postseason?
Well, I look at our year last year. We won 20 games. We won 8 league games. We had 5 games in the league, 1 against Maryland, 2 against Ohio State, 2 against Michigan. And they were all tie game, 4 minutes to go, and we lost all 5. So for me, it's winning those close games against those high-level teams.
And how do you do that? What
I think it's mental toughness. I think that when you got to dig down and you got to get a stop when you need one, you got to get a long board, you got to take a charge, you got to make free throws, you got to step up and make a big shot when the game's on the line. To me, that's where toughness comes in, and hopefully our experiences that we've gone through, some of those defeats, but also some wins. I think our experiences are the way you get better. I don't know that you can teach that. You have to live and learn. You got to not like what you've done poorly in the past, and you've got to want to change it. And I think we have the right personnel now to work through some of that and hopefully be better in those situations.
Now, Dave very eloquently and gingerly pointed out the fact that your non-conference schedule looks a little different this year than it did last year, to the point where he said we really didn't have anything to show last year.
I'm not sure what we would have done.
But at the same time, does that help you guys? I mean, you look at some of those close games.
Yeah.
And if you aren't challenged enough in the non-conference, do close games in Big Ten play go the opposite way?
Yeah.
Because of, you haven't
Maybe
really
right.
had those challenges.
Maybe right. Maybe true. And hopefully that, we've challenged ourselves a little bit more in that regard. We did play North Carolina, and we did play at Virginia Tech, which we won, and they were a pretty good team last year. So it wasn't nothing up there.
No, I hear you.
There were a couple games, but no, your point is well taken. Our schedule has been ramped up. I think those early season games, second game of the season, we're at Butler and Hinkle Fieldhouse. It's a tough environment to play in, and against a great program. Playing a team like Dayton, they're Archie Miller, top 25 program, Texas, Notre Dame, Colorado, 3 NCAA quality teams. So we're going to have some great tests early. I think our team needs it. And hopefully, not only do you want to test yourself, but you got to find a way to win a few of those games if you want to be relevant.
Well, and a lot of the country doesn't understand. You were tested last year, no Vic Law, and also lost Alex Olaf for an extended period of time. It got Derek Pardon good experience, but that's a player you expected was going to redshirt.
Yeah.
How do you feel about his development? He certainly had some. He showed a lot at times, but then he almost seemed to hit a wall, which a lot of freshmen do in this conference. Has he gotten even better this season?
I hope so. I think our team is very interesting because we have about 4 or 5 guys, in my opinion, that have been like wild card type players. We knew we could count on McIntosh, Ola, and Demps.
Yep.
And then you had that group of Pardon and Scotty Lindsey and Aaron Falzone and Gavin Skelly.
Gave you a lot of times.
Yeah, but they weren't really necessarily guys that every night brought it. And I think the onus is kind of on them, and that's what happens in college basketball. Guys leave, and guys have to step up into those roles. And I think a big part of our year is, can Derek Pardon be that guy inside? We think he can, but you got to go out and do it. Will Aaron Falzone, be able to build on what he did last year? Vic Law coming off injury, Scotty Lindsey now as a junior. Those are guys we believe in. Those are guys I think can be very good Big Ten players, and it's just their time to step up, and that's going to be a big key to our season.
Well, we're going to speak to Bryant here in a few, but is a lot on him I mean, he does a great job of making teammates better, and he himself could be the consistency that you're looking for. I mean, how much falls on a guy like Bryant McIntosh, who consistently has been there year after year?
A lot falls on him, but you know what? The really good players want a lot to fall on their shoulders, and he's wired for that. It's why he came. He wanted to be that guy to help us get to this point and help us bust through the door. And he's a junior now. He's had the ball since day one. He's gotten better, which is exciting to me. He hasn't just sat upon what he's already done. He's stronger. He's added to his game. I think he's going to be a more consistent shooter than he's been the first 2 years. And I know he wants that pressure. He's our leader. He makes us go. And we're just going to have to count on others to step up and help lead the way.
From the outside, certain changes are obvious. You know, you've clearly recruited very well. There's a different type of player in Evanston than there was in years past. It's no longer slow you down. This is play Northwestern basketball, but it's not just going to take the air out of the ball. What else has changed since you've been there? Obviously, Under Armour has been great, a great partner of yours. The new addition to Welsh Ryan Arena. There's a lot going on, but what else has changed that we really don't see?
I just think the mentality of our culture, you know, you look at the winning programs, and we have a lot of them in this conference. You know, there's a way they carry themselves. There's a way they prepare. There's a way they practice. There's a way they walk on the court. You know, I can see a sense of confidence and a belief maybe that we didn't quite have, you know, and you got to build that. You got to build it by your performance, and you got to build it by winning some games. And I just sense a team that, you know, now has a belief that they are good and that they can play and they can win in this league, and that's what it takes.
And how much of that comes from, I mean, clearly your experience at Duke, there's no way you accept anything other than a top 10 preseason.
Right.
I mean, that's just what you expect. I mean, how much of that impacts not only how you approach it, but how your players view the program?
I think it's huge because, you know, like you said, the really elite programs, the programs that win year in and year out, they get in tough spots and they believe they're supposed to win.
Yeah.
You know, and that's where I think we have been in a situation where we've hoped that we could win.
Yeah.
And it's just that little bit of confidence, that little bit of belief. And in order for us to take the next step, we have to have what you're talking about. And to me, that goes back to the mental toughness and the attitude. And I'm hoping these guys can be up to the challenge. I know they've been a great group to coach, and we've gotten better year in and year out. And I think we have enough veterans to be up for the challenge.
Chris, you talked about building your program. You're building metaphorically, you're building literally too. And John alluded to the changes in the arena. What has that done to this point? And of course, it hasn't actually happened yet, but just the fact that you know it's going to happen, how has that helped you in recruiting?
Well, there's no question that, you know, when you can show over $100 million plus project that's going to entail arena, locker rooms, practice courts, office space. I mean, it's going to be a whole makeover of all of our facilities. And, you know, with what Jim Phillips has been able to do with football on the lake, and now with what we're going to do with Welsh Ryan in our basketball area there is just off the charts. And the thing it does mainly is it motivates me even more, because anytime people put that kind of investment, it shows a belief in what we're doing and where we're trying to go. And it's gotten me even hungrier and more motivated to follow up and try to give everybody what they want. And that's a top-notch basketball program.
Coach, you're a big Cubs fan, so I know you've got your mind focused on that. We've seen that team turn itself around and become the team now that everyone is expecting, perhaps to end up winning that World Series and breaking through. Northwestern trying to break through in the same way. For this to be the year, what would need to happen? What are the things? And we've talked a little bit about winning close games, but is there something kind of tangible you can put your finger on where you say, if we do this or these several things, we'll be a great team?
Well, obviously, I think you got to stay healthy, and that's everybody. I mean, health is so big in today's day, and we've been hit just like everybody else has. If we can keep our core intact, we can stay healthy. You have to play well early, you know, and you guys saw our schedule. We got to find a way to win some of those games, you know, to boost our resume, get us playing good basketball going into the conference. And, you know, then more than anything, I think we gotta find a way to break through and get some of those close wins. And we've had some. I mean, it's not like we've lost every game, but, you know, looking back, when you say what could have been, you know, there's 5 or 6 games there that were right in our grasp that we let slip away. And our guys got to be, you know, tough enough and strong enough to be able to make those plays in this league. Like you guys know, I mean, the level of coaching, the level of players, these atmospheres you play in, I mean, every game is a grind. And like we always talk about amongst coaches, like just to win one game, people don't understand how hard it is to win one game in this league. I don't care who you play, home or road, and it makes it so much fun, though.
It is fun. We look forward to it. Head coach head coach of the Wildcats, Chris Collins. Chris, thanks a lot.
Thanks, guys.
And good luck to your companies.
Thank you.
We're
We're going to do it.